So, welcome everybody to your life blueprint today. Today, we have with us, as usual, every week, Oscar Nygren. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Oscar Nygren. I'm an emotional fitness coach. I help people understand what is going on inside of them, understand their pain, understand their emotions, so they can let go of whatever traumas that have had in their life that is holding them back, so they really can go forth, prosper, and thrive. And I have a website. It's called realitydecoding.com, and you can check it out, and you can go there also to have a 30-minute conversation with me for free. Yeah, so that's me. Katarina, want to introduce yourself?
So, I'm Katarina Hanssens Carlsson. On LinkedIn, I'm Catherine Carlsson. And for 20 years, I've been defining people's blueprint. So, your business blueprint, your entrepreneurial blueprint. But today, we're going to do your life blueprint on 4 levels. So, this is really exciting. So, the first step is you have a life blueprint and you have a way you think about yourself. It's called identity. So whether you decide to break through with me or with Oscar later on, I'd like everybody to go through these 4 steps. Reflect on your identity. Who do you think of yourself as the best possible version of yourself with an I am statement? So think about that. So Oscar, what would you say about your life blueprint and your identity, people's identity?
Well, I mean, the identity is so much tied to our thoughts about ourselves, and it's so much tied also to a history, the history that we're telling ourselves of the evidence that we've accumulated throughout our life, because that evidence is also somewhat acting as a proof of who we are today. And so because of that proof, we are somewhat in belief with what is going on. And so it is up to us to really understand, well, is it our chosen truth, right? Have we chosen that truth because we are believing in that proof, or is it and is it of benefit for us? Do we feel that this is actually something that is it is uplifting, it is making me more and more prosperous, I'm thriving, I'm seeing that life is moving forward in my life, because I am I'm embodying these beliefs, these I would call them beliefs. I actually call them as a vehicle. Every belief is a vehicle in either direction, right? It can go to the negative, it can go to the positive. And sometimes when you come to a certain threshold, you need to up your belief, just like a rocket, right? You can't start if you're going to go to space, you don't take a jet engine. The jet engine just gets you somewhat far, right? But when you're on that level, you need a rocket. So that's what I look at beliefs, that we need to be dynamic in our understanding of life. And when we're reaching a threshold, that we need to level up in order to reach further.
Okay, Oscar, thank you. So identity is extremely important. We have a need to be consistent with who we say we are. So it's also your choice. You determine who you are. What you think about life determines your life. Your thoughts are very powerful. So we have a true identity, an authentic identity. We also have a false identity, and it's run by your inner saboteur, your reptilian brain, who wants to keep you safe and small and eventually dead. But it wants to keep you in your comfort zone, which is a prison. And so don't buy into it. Listen to it so you can detect it. But you have a false identity based on your past experiences, maybe traumatic experiences. You made up your mind that you were worthless, or you were less than other people, or whatever it was, or you were nothing, or you were a victim. It's a lie. The inner saboteur lies to you, so don't buy it. If you detect that you have a negative statement about yourself, like, I'm a loser, change it, because otherwise you will be a loser and the self-saboteur will prove itself correct. So you determine your identity. So what do you say about the false identity, Oscar?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what you were saying about this in the saboteur. And I would really recommend the listeners, if you haven't listened to our previous podcast, we actually did a very good method to go in and understand your inner saboteur, because it's not only these thoughts. It's like you somehow need to see what is the whole what is the whole base idea, like how does it look like, how does it feel like, because it's the way that this is spoken to us is in a very, very subtle level, because it's been told us, or we've said that to ourselves, or the inner saboteur has said it to ourselves our entire life. So it's quite important for us to understand what is going on there. But yeah, so the inner saboteur basically is there to, in essence, protect you, but that protection is no longer needed in the type of society, in this type of world we're living today, right? It's a defense mechanism that is probably 100,000 years old or more, because of needing to protect you, because the whole idea is for you to survive. But now we're entering an era where it's not only about survival, it's about thriving. And then we need to let go of this this negativity inside of us, because what it only does, it's holding us down and making us separated from each other and from life in general.
Exactly. It's fear-based. It's
Yeah.
fear-based, it's anger-based, it's the side you don't like about you. That's your inner saboteur, and we all have one. And it's the only battle we have to take really, really seriously. Okay, so once you've found your authentic identity and you've reframed your false identity, then you can start thinking about your driving purpose, because you can say, well, if this is who I truly am, and I decide who I am, and the greater the better, without being arrogant, the greater the better, because we all have greatness in us, then what is my life purpose? Oh my God, that's exciting. It's not about survival, as Oscar was saying, it's about thriving. How can I thrive and also change the world to the way I want it to be, instead of complaining about it? What impact would I like to make on the world? How would I like to serve people? What is my driving purpose? Suddenly life becomes exciting. Why? Because you're on a mission. So, Oscar, you also find people's life purpose. What do you say about life purpose?
Well, it always differs, but for starters, if someone has hard time understanding, well, what is my life purpose? Well, look at what is it that makes you happy. Now that can be a tricky one as well. Then I can tell you, it's even because we are prone to negativity, right? So we can use negativity as a leverage of understanding where we're actually wanting, right? So anytime that you feel jealousy, anytime that you're looking upon another's life and you're saying like, oh, wish I was there, I wish this was going on, and so forth. It is somewhat of an indication of what you're longing for in your own life. But because you're feeling jealousy, the reason why is because you're saying to yourself that you do not yet have it, right? Because you're looking upon life as if it is real, what is actually right now, instead of dwelling in that thriving reality of you having what that person has. Because it's really about us understanding of how are we going to keep on developing this attitude of joy and happiness and togetherness and connectedness in our life. And it's exactly as we need to relearn a positive frame of mind. And that takes a little bit of practice, and it's very unique for everybody. But it needs to also be a little bit of a child in this, that can like think of, you have clay, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna mold it. I'm gonna see, because the thing is this, that as you start playing around with these qualities in your life that you picked up, that you actually desire, then you will feel something is moving up towards through you, and it's sensing, and it's giving you these pleasurable feelings. And as that is happening, it's an indication from your soul, from your higher self, that this is an alignment with whom you actually desire to be, and what that blueprint of yours also is somewhat about.
Absolutely. Alignment is so important. And I think you're beginning to understand that it stacks. You start with identity. Who are you? That's the most important thing. People say, oh, I just want a business idea and just go for it. Who you are being is crucial. So once you are aligned with your true identity, you can find your purpose, because it makes sense. If I'm this and I'm this, and I've reframed my inner saboteur's idea of my identity, then I can be the person I really want to be. And I've known, or I've always wanted to be. And now I can go ahead with my mission. And the last step, last but not least, the fourth step is your goals and your vision. So you know who you are, so who you are, what you're up to, and then how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it. Mostly when and what. How you can leave up to the universe to a certain extent, but you've got to communicate it, and you've got to get it out there. You've got to, whether you're an introvert or not, you need to bring out the extrovert in you and start communicating your purpose. So you have a 1-year goal, a 3-year goal, a 5-year goal, and your final vision. What is it you want to achieve in 5 years? You can do amazing things in 5 years. You can do miracles in 5 years. So, Oscar, goals and vision.
Yeah, goals and visions. Well, first of all, I need to say that I'm not the best one at putting goals in that sense, but I always have a sense of, oh, this is the direction I'm heading. Because first of all, on the spiritual path that I'm exploring, it's so you come across a certain threshold, and then you see it's like, oh, that wasn't it, and this was it, and so forth. But now I think I'm trying to get things more grounded in reality, because honestly, we're here, we're walking the earth, and there are certain things that we want to do. It's so easy to get stuck in this idea of, oh no, I'm gonna levitate. That's my sole goal, you know. But for me now, it's more about getting connected and feeling freedom. And feeling freedom in the sense of, how do I communicate with people? How do I stand my ground? How do I keep my boundaries? How do I, if I'm attracted to someone, how do I express that? And all of these things, because it's so easy, for me at least, to get stuck on these grand ideas. I love the 5-year, you know, these magnificent visions that we're feeling such a surge of being connected to. But for me, it's really about grounding it into reality. And some people love to have a very set of like, oh, this is what I'm going to do now, and it works for them. So I think it's also about us understanding what makes us, what is our style, you know, what is our style of goal setting, what works for me. Because I've somewhat been angry at myself of, why can't I be so good at putting these 1 year old goals? Why can't I? And that anger didn't.
You can, Oscar. Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I felt that was hard for me to get that in. And for me, it was also like really defining what is it that I love. And when that occurs, then I experiment with the idea, and I'm seeing like, oh, this is what I'm longing for. I'm longing for it in the sense of like, and I can achieve it. Because for me, it's been so easy to get stuck in the idea of, oh no, it's not possible. So maybe it's a little bit of a vagueness of speaking around this, but the execution of it for me right now is about finding out what makes my soul sing, and from there starting to put up this grand vision of my life. Because before, it's been really much grounded in unreality, so it's important to have it in reality. Yeah. So, do you have anything to add to that, Katarina?
So focus on goals is very, very important. So once you know who you are, what you're up to, and you're excited about that, it's easy to do a 1 year. Okay, so where would I love to be in 5 years? Where would I love to be in 1 year? And what is it going to take? Okay, and your income. Where am I going to be, and what am I going to have achieved in 3 years? And then you can see like it has a gradient. You start here, 3 years, 5 years, and you can achieve a lot in 5 years. But focus is very important, and energy. And where do you get the energy? From your passion and purpose. So how do you get in touch with us? I'm Katarina Hanssens Carlsson. You can find me on LinkedIn, Catherine Carlsson. And if you would like to have a breakthrough in the way you think about life, then contact me you can click on my Calendly and book a time with me. And if you'd like to do a 1-day consultation and create your new life blueprint, then do the same. Contact me on Calendly or contact me on LinkedIn, Catherine Carlsson. And Oscar, how do we contact you?
Yeah, you can find me on realitydecoding.com. And I'm also on YouTube as Oscar Nygren, and also on Facebook as Live Your Purpose. You can just search for groups there and you will find that group. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And so we will see you next week. Next week, we have a surprise for you. Have a great week.
Take care, everyone.